In this practice, I'm responding to some questions from our yoga community about digestion. So this is a practice specifically targeted at your digestive system. I'll start the practice with some awareness of the beginning of your digestive tract, which is actually your senses, and then the saliva in the mouth. We'll travel down through the digestive system to this esophageal flap here using a pranayama practice called pratyaloma pranayama. And then we'll be going down into some twisting practices and poses to help stimulate the organs of digestion with the massage that happens during the diaphragmatic inhale, diaphragmatic exhale, and with rotation of the spine and the organs. Along the way, it's really helpful if you stay loyal to synchronizing your breath and your body and these movements. And one of the reasons to stay loyal to that is that as you go into some physical practices that might be a little bit more demanding for you, the likelihood of your mind getting made uneasy and therefore your nervous system shifting from ventral vagal parasympathetic into sympathetic dominance, that does exist there. The possibility of slipping into that means that you're then going against your digestive support. Our digestion works best in what's called the rest and digest, tend and befriend nervous system, which is the ventral vagal parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, let's get into the practice. And as we head there, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button for videos that are helpful to you, and leave me questions and comments down below from the practice. Okay, I'll see you there. Welcome for practice. So we'll start with the period of sitting quietly. I would like to be working a little more deeply into digestion this morning. So keeping that in mind, this practice is best done with an empty stomach, or you haven't eaten for the last 2 hours or so. Maybe more than that, if you have slower transit time, you may want to have a longer duration between food and this kind of practice. Please take a comfortable seat. Rest your hands in your lap. Let your eyes close. And drop your attention inwardly and also move your attention down. And find your center between your two sitting bones, the tailbone, pubic bone. And then imagine the plumb line that goes from the center of the pelvic floor up to the crown of your skull. But while there is a musculoskeletal component to that, and we could map that on the sitting bones, tailbone, pubic bones, up through the vertebrae, there is also what we call the central channel in the subtle body of yoga called Sushumna Nadhi. As you center yourself in that plumb line, allow your shoulder blades to relax down, but lift the center of your heart slightly. Release the hinge of your jaw, but lift through the roof of your mouth. And then let's consider for a moment that digestion begins with the senses, that we would see food, smell food. We might even hear the sounds of food being prepared, or in some cases, hear the sound of food as we pick it and wash it and prepare it. So we see, smell, hear, and touch food before we taste it. And those are elements of digestion as well. And then digestion begins as we salivate in the anticipation of food. So our first digestive ambassadors are the saliva and the way that our mouth prepares for food to come. One reason why we say chew your food. because the saliva interacts with the food. We say chew your food, don't sip your food through a straw. But for those who can, of course, chew your food. For those who must sip food through a straw, we understand, but it's not recommended to have smoothies through a straw. So we want to engage with the mouth. So to set up this environment and also to increase vagal tone this morning, we'll do just a really simple practice. You're going to take the tongue and run it across the top of the teeth on the front, and then the lower teeth also on the front. That'll build saliva in your mouth, and then you're going to swallow. And we'll just do that 5 times. So when you're ready. Since we're aiming to build vagal tone, don't rush the practice. Vagal tone is something related to your resilience and your ability for equanimity and empathy. So be with your experience. When you've completed that 5 times, and take notice of any even subtle hint of feeling more present with yourself or with your mouth or your saliva. Another important aspect of digestion, also related to vagal tone, has to do with not just the swallow reflex, but the whole region of the throat. So now we're going to chant the sound of Om. We'll do it in a specific way. First, we'll do the letter A. Ah. We'll do that several times. Then we'll do the letter M. Mm. And then we'll put them all together. So the ah sound is like having the tongue depressor with the doctor checking the throat. You want that to be, resonant, patient, kind, doesn't need to be forceful. The M sound, the vibration is going to go in and up towards the roof of the mouth, which also will stimulate the pineal and the pituitary gland. When we put them all together as the sound of Om, for those who want to see more information about this kind of practice, there is a video on our YouTube channel. You could check the link here for that. But as we do it here this morning, since you're experienced practitioners, we'll do Ah 5 times, we'll do M 5 times, and then we'll do Om 5 times. Reminder, Om is A, U, M, and silence, 4 syllables. Right? So take a simple breath in. And allow yourself a smooth inhale. Might even do a subtle form of the Ujjayi inhale. Now, if you've completed 5, we're going to go to the M sound, lips between the teeth, the vibration inside the mouth. Again, a subtle Ujjayi inhale to begin.
Keeping it smooth and steady, we'll do one more. And then again, imagine the effect you're having on the vagus nerve, vagal tone. You might also notice any little glimpse of a quieter mind. And I will do the sound of Om also 5 times. It's A-U-M silence. The silence is a part of the exhale. Each part is equal. And then there'll be your inhale in silence. Start with the in-breath. One more time. And then once more, notice even a glimpse of mental stillness or silence. You've already established a message to your digestive system. Now we'll do one more pranayama where you take the fingers and the thumb like this. So first 2 fingers in, ring finger and thumb.
we're going to partially close both sides of the nose, and then the inhale is going to be slowed down dramatically. During this kind of inhale, the flap between the esophagus and the stomach is also being drawn down because of the quality of suction the diaphragm has to do to make this inhale. So your diaphragm is going to go down during the inhale as always, just going to go more slowly and with greater suction, causing that flap at the top of the stomach, the base of the esophagus, to be more secure. So for people dealing with acid reflux, this is a really helpful practice to prepare for eating, to have a better digestive opportunity, to not have acid reflux taking over. For us, it's also a chance to draw pitta, the pitta dosha, out of the head, for those of you for whom you tend to have a pitta mind, and to bring it down into its seat in the stomach. Okay, so place your thumb and your ring finger, and let's inhale slowly through both nostrils. At the top of your inhale, at your pace, you're just going to then have a gentle sigh-like exhale. Now that sigh might be through the nose or through the mouth, but then when you're ready, you'll do the next in-breath. As you get practiced at this technique, you're going to be able to go sequentially, breath to breath, but right now you might need a little pause between each breath. And you can finish with your next exhale sigh. The name for that practice, by the way, is Prachaloma Pranayama. Notice the overall feeling tone of your mind. And even imagine if you were to be now approaching a beautiful meal or even a simple piece of fruit, what would be your relationship to that from this place? Let's take one physical posture while we're still sitting. You can cross if you're sitting cross-legged, that's ideal. So the knees are a little bit wider. And then cross your left hand over to the outside of your right knee. Walk your right hand behind you. Please twist to your right. You can turn your head to your right also. Okay. And in the twist, be specific, kind of deliberate that you want the breath to be slow. Ujjayi breathing is wonderful. And that the breath does fill into the pelvic basin. So low belly, mid belly, upper belly, back waist, and then up into the heart. And see if you can kind of reserve a portion of your inhale for the upper chest and collarbone. So you're getting a full torso breath. We'll do one more inhale, and then the exhale is to squeeze the belly. So as you go through the exhale, you can make it a little bit stronger towards the end, but don't make yourself breathless. That won't be helpful. At the end of that exhale, rotate around to center. And then bring your right hand across to your left knee. Again, sitting cross-legged means your knees are farther apart, so that actually can be helpful for this reach with your right arm. Walk the left hand behind you. Great, and please twist to your left. You can look over your left shoulder. Yeah, and allow the breath to be slow and steady so it includes your upper chest, heart, and collarbone. This be specific, you're kind of massaging the inner body as the diaphragm draws down. It's causing a massage of the inner organs, including your digestive organs. It's also very helpful to your nervous system, and we digest much better when we're in the parasympathetic nervous system, specifically ventral vagal parasympathetic nervous system. You'll do one more breath using the exhale as a squeeze of the lower belly, but not to the point of breathlessness. And then in the pause after the exhale, please come around to face forward. You could ask again now, if you were going to be approaching a meal, what would it feel like from right here? Okay, and now we're going to come into rather than a seated practice, a floor-based practice, starting with quadruped. So I'm going to switch my position back to my mat here. Coming into a quadruped position now, that's going to be all fours. So come into table pose. Yep. And place your hands with their shoulder width apart. With your in-breath, please come into cat pose. And then exhale into cow pose. As you slide the pubic bone back, lengthen the lower belly, bring your heart forward and open your throat. And then inhale to cat pose again. So what we're going to do here is use Ujjayi breathing now. And then in a few moments, we're going to add the lion's breath as our exhale. And lion's breath is also helpful as a cleansing breath. It also opens up the throat, the tongue. It stimulates the vagus nerve. It's related to that gag reflex that you heard me talk about before in the pranayama. But it's also helpful for releasing emotions. And we do not want to have trapped emotions in the body for really any reason, but it also makes it hard to welcome and digest food and other emotions and life experiences. So inhale once more to cat pose. And then exhale, cow pose with lion's breath. Now inhale to cat pose, and we're going to use the M sound, the humming sound, to go to child's pose. Inhale to cat. Inhale to cat pose again. Coming back to child's pose. Twice more through the sequence. The in-breath with Ujjayi, the out-breath is lion's breath or humming, depending on whether you're going back to child's pose or forward to cow pose. And the hum may take quite some time, so that is a longer exhale breath. And then in your own time, you'll inhale again to cat pose. And then last time towards child's pose. And then please walk your hands back towards your knees and rise up to kneeling. You can just kneel in a simple Vajrasana and notice how things are feeling. And again, each time that we pause, I'm going to ask you to reflect on, if you were going to interact with food from this place now, how might that be? Okay, let's come up to standing. Yeah. We'll be doing some twisting poses that cause the turning of the belly or the churning of the belly. There's a yoga pose that we do on the floor later called Jatara Parivartanasana. It means the churning of the belly. It's a spinal twist. It sounds more exotic than it is. So we're going to start at the front of the mat, getting ready for chair pose. We're going to add a twist chair pose. So bring your palms together at your heart. Using your Ujjayi breath, please inhale the hands down, turn your palms forward, raise up. Exhale to chair pose. Now slide the left arm down between your knees. Inhale, twist to your right. And exhale back to chair pose. And then bring your right arm down and inhale, twist to your left. And exhale to chair pose. Inhale, rise up, upward hands. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Give a good squeeze to the end of the exhale breath, but without causing breathlessness. Inhale, rise up, upward hand pose. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, twist to your right. Exhale to chair pose. Inhale, twist left. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Now inhale, lengthen your heart forward. And exhale, come down to squatting. Lift your heels so your knees are high up against your chest. Inhale, raise the arms forward. And exhale, return to Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, twist right. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, twist left. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale down to Malasana. So lift your heels. The knees are going to be high up against your chest. And then inhale, raise the arms forward and up slightly past your ears. And exhale, twist to your right. Inhale to center, toe balance pose. Exhale, twist left. Inhale to center, toe balance pose, also called Malasana right now. And then exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up, upward hands pose. And exhale, hands to your heart. Notice that we've been putting the twist between the knees, right? We didn't go to the outside yet. Now we're going to aim for across and to go outside the knees. We don't all have that kind of flexibility. So, and since we're going to be moving from one pose to the next, I'm not asking you to get the deepest possible twist right now. We will do some binding twists a little bit more in class, but let's see if we can keep it in the rhythm of the breath, moving side to side. And let me see if I can tie my hair off my face. Today is haircut day. Meaning I'm getting a haircut today, so it should get easier to manage. I have a lot of hair right now. And by the way, the sesame oil in the hair makes more hair. So if you have questions about how to take care of your hair according to Ayurveda, let me know. All right, so we're going to be going across. Some of you are going to find that you'll put your elbow across your knee. Others, it's going to be the forearm, might be the wrist for some of us. And then when we go down to Malasana, again, we're going to go across to the best of our ability. Okay, so inhale, Ujjayi. This can be a little bit of a back bend right here. So you're really opening the whole front hemisphere of the body. And then you're going to exhale, come down to chair pose. Let it be a good squeeze of the low belly, right? And then inhale, cross your arm and twist to your right. I know that seems difficult on the inhale. We're going to exhale back to chair pose. Reach across, inhale, twist left. Exhale to center, chair pose. Inhale, rise up, upward hands. A little bit of a back bend here. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, come down to Malasana. So you've got your heels high. You are balancing on the toes. Yeah, the knees are up against the torso. Bring your arm across. Inhale, twist right. Try not to splay the knees or to make them go kind of wonky, but to keep them where they are right now. So when you come across, you have to kind of press the knee back into the arm, not just the arm into the knee. Yeah. And then return to squatting. Arms up if possible. And exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up like a little back bend at the top. And last time, exhale, chair pose. Bringing Vata back down into the pelvis there. Inhale, twist to your right. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, twist left. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, rise up, little back bend at the top. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, Malasana. Keep the heels high so the hips go down a little lower, knees up against the torso. Inhale, twist to your right. Exhale, Malasana, raise the arms. And then inhale, twist to your left. And exhale, Malasana, raise your arms. And inhale, Uttanasana. Exhale, bow towards the legs. And let's inhale, rise up. Upward hands pose. And exhale, hands to the heart. Let your mind drop down. So the Vata dosha and the Pitta dosha are coming back down to support digestion and also mental groundedness. You might be wondering why we're inhaling in those twists, because of course, normally we exhale into a twist, and we are going to do that for some seated twists coming up. When we're doing that twist on the inhale, I'm asking your body to be able to expand and to further massage the inner body. So you've got two kinds of massages, the diaphragm going down and the rotation of the torso. When we do a seated twist, and we're going to stay there for several breath cycles, you'll have both inhale and exhale massaging the organs. On the inhale, that sense of like expanding; on the exhale, a sense of contraction. So you'll get a chance to experience that. Let's put two blocks at the front of your mat now. I'm going to turn this to be the front of my mat. This is no longer the front. Okay, and once again, step to the top of your mat. This is now for Surya Namaskar, a variation on Surya Namaskar. Join your palms together. Okay, with the inhale, hands down, wide and up, a little bit of a back bend here. Exhale, chair pose. Try to keep that sense of the back bend in the upper back, but do come down to squeeze the low belly, right? And then inhale, twist right. Exhale, chair pose, keeping the flexion of the lower spine and extension of your upper spine. Inhale, twist left. And exhale, back to chair pose. Inhale, rise up, upward hands, little back bend. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, Malasana. Raise your knees and your heels. Okay, inhale, twist right. Exhale to center, raise your arms high. Inhale, twist left. Exhale to center, raise your arms high. Place your hands and inhale to Uttanasana or Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale for a deep bow to the legs. Okay, inhale your heart forward. And now we'll step the left foot straight back to the base of the lunge pose. So in this base pose, let's put the right palm firmly on the block or the floor next to, the left palm firmly on the block or the floor next to your right foot, and then rotate to your right. So this twist, you have to use your strength for, rather than having the arm crossed over right now. So in using your strength, press down into your left arm, reach back into your left leg, reach up with the right. Let's take a deep and smooth inhalation. And on the exhale, keep your pelvis centered so it's not twisting to the right. The pelvis is going to be stable. And feel into the twist you can create in the inner body. Good. And then release down. Let's inhale, reach forward, rise up. And then exhale, sweep your arms wide, come slowly down, and inhale, step forward with your right foot, bring the heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale to bow towards the legs. Always nice to have a little squeeze in the belly. Inhale, glide forward. And then exhale, take your right toes back. Press firmly into your right palm, twist to your left. So let's think of the strength of the right arm, right leg during the inhalation. And then the strength of rotation during your exhale. And then exhale, release your left arm down. Check that your hips are level. Press into your left hip and heel. Rise up. And then exhale, gracefully sweep your arms wide. Touch the two blocks and inhale, step forward, please. And then exhale for a deep bow to the legs. Inhale, rise up, upward hands. And exhale, hands to the heart. And now we're going to add Anjaneyasana. So inhale, and we'll simplify the beginning here. Little back bend. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward. Okay, exhale, left toes back and left knee down. Now, I'd like you to take the blocks and make them tall. Press down into your fingertips. Inhale to open. And then exhale, bring your torso upright. So we have this little back bend there. You're stretching the whole front line of the body. And then use the exhale to bring your torso up. So you're not exploiting any hyperflexible part of your spine for back bending. And now that we're more upright, cross your left hand over your right knee and twist to your right. And then exhale, release, tip the blocks down. And inhale, step backwards to downward dog pose. Exhale, come forward to plank pose. Inhale, step through to seal pose. Exhale, cobra pose. Take the shoulders back and the heart forward. Inhale, rise up, seal pose. Plank pose. Downward dog pose. Okay, left foot forward and right knee down. Tip the blocks up high. Press down into your blocks. Open the front hemisphere of the body. And then exhale, come upright. So the hips are still a little bit forward, but you're not exploiting the lumbar spine here. Cross your right hand over your left knee. Twist to your left. So the twist still has a lot of space in it, right? It's a spacious sort of twist. Release there. Exhale. Let's take the blocks down to the medium. Inhale, step backwards. Downward dog pose. Exhale to plank pose. Inhale to seal pose. Exhale, cobra. Inhale, seal pose. Plank pose. Downward facing dog pose. And right foot forward, left knee down. Tip the blocks tall. Inhale to open. And exhale your torso upright. And now cross your left forearm and left elbow and possibly your armpit over your right thigh. So it's much more snug. And then bring the palms together. Separate the elbows. Notice the breath coming down, hopefully finding its way into the pelvis. The breath can also find its way into the back of your waist, the sides of the waist, up into the heart. And then the exhale, like wringing out the dishcloth. You can exhale from deep inside the lower belly and possibly increase your rotation during the exhale. And then we're going to release with an exhale. Tip the blocks back to the medium setting and inhale backwards to downward dog pose. Notice that now the belly opens, you had compression, now you have more space. Exhale forward to plank. Inhale to seal pose, opening up the belly. Exhale, cobra. Inhale to seal. Exhale, plank. Inhale, downward dog. And then exhale, left foot forward, right knee down. Tip the blocks high. Press into your fingers. Roll the shoulders back. And then exhale, bring your torso upright. So just a little bit of tone that brings the spine upright. Now cross over. And as you're crossing, press the elbows wide. And find a comfortable place in your twist where you still can breathe abundantly. And then exhale, rotate back to center. Let's tip the blocks down. And again, going from compression, set backwards. Adding space for the belly. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale, seal pose. And then cobra. And then seal pose. And now child's pose. Raise your hips, glide them back. Let's slide the hands forward on the blocks in child's pose. And keep the head hovering between your upper arms. In that little bit of a hover for the head to float between the upper arms, what you have is just a gentle amount of tone for your neck and your throat. And then walk your hands back towards your knees. Come up to kneeling, and let's just take notice on how are things feeling. You've had a pretty good rinse, soak, squeeze, repeat experience in the body. So take notice. I'd like us to sit on a folded blanket or on a bolster. Since this is a morning practice, it's nice to get some movement in, but also since this is a practice for digestion, we're now going to be more focused on a couple poses here, more inward, right? So in this position, sitting up on something is going to be helpful. And bring your right knee up to your chest. Take the left leg out straight. So when the knee comes up to the chest like this, you are squeezing the ascending colon. It's like a little massage to that structure of the body. It's also, of course, for your liver and your gallbladder. But I'd like you to clasp your hands around your right shin and be snug, just as snug as is comfortable for you. And then bring your head down towards your right knee. And picture letting your body and your mind know that you're going to slow down the sympathetic nervous system and encourage the ventral vagal parasympathetic nervous system. That is really your rest and digest system. Okay, and then raise your torso up, but keep your thigh snug where it is, and swoosh your lower belly across your lap and hook your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. And in that hooking, the strength of that hook, whatever that happens to be, some people will put their hand on the floor. I'm not one of those people. I don't have very long arms, but you could take a block and bring it in. And as you twist, I'm going to ask you to keep the torso upright, but bring your chin down towards your throat. We're going to start with the chin down towards the throat like this. If you could breathe into the back hemisphere of your body. And then imagine like a fern in the forest uncurling. Begin to raise your heart and your collarbone. Lift your gaze on the horizon and then turn your head to your right. And following an exhale, come back around to face forward. Bring your left foot in behind your right ankle. Clasp your hands and again, bow your head towards your knee. Okay, so we're going to ask the nervous system to go to that ventral vagal zone. When you bring your head towards your knee here, whatever ability you have to touch right now, I'm going to ask you to maintain that as you slide your right knee and your right foot forward. And so whatever amount of forward is yours, so long as the knee and the head or the knee and the nose are still connected, go ahead and come forward. It should feel like rather than reaching your head towards your right foot, you are still reaching your head towards your knee. So the spine is actually in a stronger awareness of flexion, not just that you've flexed the torso forward over your right leg, but you're keeping that sense of flexion in the spine as you come forward. And now inhale, raise your chest and your heart. You are sitting on the left heel. Quite likely it's under the back of your right thigh. Cross your left hand to the outside of your right heel, and please twist to your right. Turn the belly. Right now we don't have compression on the belly, So turn the whole spine, but keep your pelvis and your sacrum stable. Make the spine relatively elongated and straight. Of course, the back is not going to be flat, but right now it's not rounded. And then come back around to center, and let's pick up the right knee and come back to where we started. So that was for the ascending colon. Let's do the descending colon. So bring your left knee up and your right leg out. In preparation for those of us with short arms. I mean, there's nothing wrong with short arms. This is how the design came. So clasp your hands, lift the torso up. We are snug with the torso and the thigh, and then bring your head down. And picture that you're slowing down the nervous system here and inviting the rest and digest nervous system to be more familiar to you. And then bring the torso upright, and we're going to cross the right arm over the left knee, whatever amount you're able to do. And in that crossing, you may substitute a block for the floor. Rotate the lower belly, and as you turn the low belly, let's start by initially looking down. And that gazing down is really just the upper part of the spine. So it's your cervical spine, the upper thoracic spine. Again, imagine the breath moving more into the back of your waist. And then lift your heart and your gaze. The pose opens a little bit in the upper hemisphere of the torso. Turn your head to your left. Maintain the breath in the back hemisphere of your body. And we're going to rotate around to face forward and bring your right foot behind the left foot. Okay, so that's in position already. And then curl your hands around and bring your head down towards your knee. So some of you have longer limbs and shorter torsos, so knee to nose is closer for you. For those of us who have a longer torso and shorter limbs, it's required to round the spine to get the knee to the nose. Okay, let's keep the knee and the nose connected, and with respect for that, respect your hamstrings. Whatever amount forward you come, that forward should not cause the spine to shift out of flexion mode. And then glide yourself back up. And let's place the left leg into Siddhasana. So now both legs are down. Take a seat. Your body might be detoxing a little bit. Oh, I forgot something there. Sorry, I don't want to leave it out. It's really helpful. So come forward, like, go back 2 seconds or 3 seconds, wherever that was. Take the right hand across, and this twist right here, you're going to rotate the whole spine. So lower spine, middle spine, upper spine, but try to keep your pelvis and your sacrum stable. Okay, and then unwind, and let's bring ourselves back up, and we'll return to Siddhasana. Now, what I was saying there is that there is a kind of detox that will be happening. Like your body's going to be moving stuff that might have been stuck. So you don't even have to call that toxins. It just was stuck. So now there's some movement. Let's see what it's like to accept that, appreciate that, and even invite that flushing possibility. Now, a really nice way to continue supporting that process is to use the 2 blocks and the bolster. If you have a third block, that's even more helpful. I will show you. We're going to do Supta Baddha Konasana, and what we'll do is elevate one part of the bolster. The reason to elevate the bolster is especially important for those of you who might have Pitta or Vata rising in your constitution. So that would include things like migraines or headaches, difficulty with your eyes, difficulty with your throat. Also includes things like ADD, ADHD, anxiety, feeling ungrounded, feeling like the mind is like a ceiling fan, those sorts of things. So let's bring Vata and Pitta back down by elevating the far end of the bolster. And then you put the soles of the feet together, 1 block for each knee. You may cover with a blanket. Now I put the block under the bolster so it goes under my head at the base of my neck. So it's not all the way back at the very back part of the bolster, right? It has to be within reason based on the size of your bolster and the length of your spine. I like to cover with a blanket. So when you support the knees and take the arms out to the side, and let's do palms face down. So your nervous system and your mind are going down. Let's one more time, run the tongue through the teeth and swallow. We'll do it 5 times. And just imagine you're sending a message to the whole digestive tract that you would like healthy digestion and a healthy gut-brain axis with good vagal tone and resilience for today. Come to rest with your gaze inward and downward. And here's where we really practice trusting the body's intelligence. Possible that as you rest, you'll hear the sounds of your digestive system working. That would be a very positive sign that you are in the rest and digest nervous system. Allow your whole body to rest. Invite your mind to surrender to the intelligence of your body in all the ways that we can't even conceive. So rest very deeply at the level of your mind. Allow that rest to go a little deeper now for your mind and for your body. Now, keeping the body restful and your mind inward, just enjoy a slightly deeper breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Gently wiggle your fingers and your toes. Raise your knees up to center. And you can roll down to your side. And use both hands to come up and sit. You come up to your seat. Make it an upright and comfortable seat. I'm just going to connect one more time with the digestive system. Now, it might seem like perhaps you have not even had a relationship with your digestive system. So why is it so crucial? Of course, it's spring, it's Kapha season right now. Digestion can tend to become problematic in different ways for different doshas. And this is an ideal time for our digestive system to be working really well to help us with the residue of Vata season, not gaining residue during Kapha season, but preparing for Pitta season. So We're also doing a lot of cleansing through the lymph and the digestive system together. Take an upright seat here. And try to sense in whatever way you can. Perhaps some vitality feels like it's revived, or you may sense that some systems they're gathering up the excess and preparing for that to depart. Lymph, digestion, whatever it might be. In Ayurveda, we say that digestion is a key, a cornerstone to mental well-being. And with all of that in your awareness, please raise your hands to your heart. Thank you for gifting yourself with this time to have a practice like this. May this deeply nourish your health and well-being. Namaste. So in this practice, we began with something very much about calming and grounding into the parasympathetic nervous system. And then we had an active practice, which for some of you is going to pick up like sympathetic activation, might even feel like your fight flight gets going if you have any history of, let's say, physical competition or exercise for an outcome. It's possible that during parts of that practice, chair pose, twisting, and so on, you feel like, oh, getting my workout. And that could stimulate your fight or flight system again. It's not intended to be that way, but that does happen sometimes for people. So keeping the breath smooth and the synchronicity of the breath and the movement is a way that we hone a strong ventral vagal parasympathetic zone during physical asana. And for others, as we're addressing the digestive system, depending on your relationship with the abdomen and with digestion, that can feel like compressive, uncomfortable versus compressive, like, oh, I'm going to be able to squeeze something out and let something in. So notice your relationship to it overall, and let it be something that informs you about your relationship with your digestion and with the organs in the abdomen too. During Surya Namaskar, that particular part is we have an open twist and then we had a compressed twist. And moving through those options, we are trying to make the whole system more elastic and functional together. That being said, the musculoskeletal body has a certain muscle fiber. We call them like talk about the soft tissues of the body, or the musculoskeletal motor fibers that we have. The digestive system is working on a different muscle fiber. Those are smooth muscle fibers. And those were developed in utero, of course. However, when you were born, your digestive system was not completely finished developing on purpose. It finishes developing out here in this world over about the next month of your life, from birth until about a month or so in. If you were preemie like I was, that means that you have a longer period of time where your digestive system is relying on development in the outside world, not in the intrauterine world. What that means is that the relationships around you and how you're initially cared for are there to continue supporting the development of your digestive system. And so if we have digestive challenges, perhaps even like a lifelong question about digestion, it may be related back to this earliest experience of digestion and the system completing itself in the outside world after our birth. So something to consider there, right? And whatever you do in yoga, I always like to say, it can be reparative for even the difficulties that we faced a long time ago, that this is a reparative, self-healing, self-empowering practice. So that being said, if we care for the digestive system, not just what we eat, of course, that's very important, what we're eating and the microbiome and good digestive acid and all the way through the canal from the mouth to the other side, very important. But if we care for it at a nervous system level, and a subtle body dosha level, we're going to be further benefiting our overall digestive system. With that in mind, always keep on your radar screen that your digestive system is a cornerstone to mental well-being. Don't ever forget that, because most of us, as we eat in a hurry, as we eat and drive, as we eat and, watch TV, as we eat and do any other thing other than eating, we're probably thinking we're getting something done, we don't have enough time, we're trying to keep up. All these ways in which we're acting out protective strategies in our life, whether that's protecting our financial resource or protecting our job that we're productive, or protecting ourselves from deep emotions by being distracted, whatever that might be. As we're playing that out, we are not benefiting the deep digestive system, nor our deepest mental health. However, in the moment, it feels like an escape, if it's the TV, or like getting something done or meeting the needs of others. So it feels like it's purposely doing something, like eating, driving, and listening to the news all at once is a disaster for your digestion. So just giving the input, I'm not trying to tell you to judge yourself in any way, but know that those things do not benefit your deepest health. And since not only mental health relies on digestive health, our entire system, this tube in here, this digestive system, is its own living organism inside of this other system. And thus this whole system is dependent upon this digestive system working well. So those are some tidbits, some tips I'm giving here at the end of class, and I hope they're helpful and meaningful. You might have questions. Of course, you can ask those questions. Often, if this is on YouTube, you can ask the questions in the comments down below, and I'd be glad to hear from you that way. And that being said, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. And as always, it's helpful to click like for videos that work for you, so that I'll know that about your experience too. Okay, that's a post-class little digestive Dharma talk. I hope it's helpful to you. And I wish you healthy digestion today. And may that also support your emotional body, your mental body, your relationships, everything that's out there for you. Thank you again.